Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Raja of the Ganges. Let's check it out. Now there's a lot going on to set up this game, but let me just show you it real quick. What you're going to do is you're going to take your little tiles here, you're going to put them in 3 piles each based on their color. So you have orange, blue, purple, and green. You're also going to start with 3 player pawns here. You're also going to put some bonus player pawns right here on the fame track, here on the bridge, and here on the money track. There are little emblems there to show you where they should be placed. You're going to place your little fame trackers here on the 0. You're going to place your little boats that you get in the game right here at the beginning, right here on the dock where the picture of the boat is. You put your little money trackers there. The first player gets 3, next player gets 4, and so on and so forth. You're also going to place your little karma tokens here on the first karma, and also you're going to place these little tokens here based on how many players you have, and you're going to place them matching this emblem that's on the board. And I'll explain what all that does in a minute. Now you're also going to place these tokens out here. The yellow, red, and brown tokens are only used for the advanced version of the game. If you look, every player has their own little player board here, and looks kind of boring here up front, but if you switch it around, haha, there's yellow, red, brown tokens, which would enable you to get some of these tokens in the game. But we're not going to play with the advanced version. I'm just going to show you the base plain Jane version today. But the ones at top though, you'll always have there, that's for the base game and the advanced. And then of course the first player is going to start with this handy dandy little elephant, which I think is really cool. Now you're also going to have your little dice holder here. You slip the dice into each one of her hands and then 2 in the middle. If you're playing an advanced version of the game, you can flip it over, and as you see, there are no spaces for her to hold, extra die. So what you're going to do is each player, they have a little dice pool here, but they're going to get 1 of each colored die, and they're going to roll it. And then they're going to put these die right here in all of her hands, anywhere they want them to go. And then starting with the first player, you will just be doing some basic worker placement. Now, looks kind of busy here, but let me show you on the track what each one of them do. And I'm going to zoom in on these so you can see them a little bit better. Now, the first place is the quarry here. If the first player who places one of their people there has to pay 1 coin in order to buy one of those tiles I showed you earlier. As you see, if there was a second player to place, they would have to pay 2 coins. Next player would play 3, and then so on and so forth. Now, this board game is completely reversible. I'm playing a 2-player version. If you flip it over, there are more spots to place players and to place men in, and that's if you're playing with 3 or more players. But if you go over there, you get to pick from one of the tiles. Now, as I spoke about earlier, these are some of the tiles here, and as you see, each one of these tiles come with a color and a number. Ooh, fuzzy. They come with a color and a number at the top of each corner. That tells you the value of it, which means if I have 4 pips of orange dice worth, I can cash those in and buy this card. There are some that are way more expensive, like this one. This one's a 10, which means I'd have to have maybe 2 5s of orange dice or anything. I could get, 3 types of dice, 1 of 3, 1 of 2, and 1 A5 in order to equal 10, and cash those in to get this tile. So what I would do, let's say I wanted to buy this 4, I would take from my little dice pool and I'm kind of cheating here, but let's say I had a 4, I had rolled an orange 4, I'd pay it if I went to the quarry, and then I could take this tile and place it on my board. Now looking at the player board here, all roads must lead out here, here, and here to the palace. So for instance, I just can't push it. I can't put my tile there right now. It has to match up with the palace. Now from there it can go to other tiles. So if I wanted to, I could place it here. Now the only rule is the roads must match. So for instance, I couldn't put it up here because that road kind of dead ends to no road there. So that would be kind of illegal. Now of course there are other tiles I could use to connect roads, and roads can dead end to the ends here. In fact, when they do, you're going to get bonuses. So for instance, this one goes right up here to the 3 coin marker, so I'd move myself up 3 coins on the coin tracker. And of course this one gives me a free die of my choice. This one moves me up 3 fame, 8 coins, 4 fame, so on and so forth. Now once you place it though, you can collect some bonus points depending on what's on the tile. For instance, as you see, this one has a palace on it. Now remember earlier when I showed you some of these little palace trackers that you see here. This one is a brown building, and I look and see how much fame I have under brown. Well, right now I only have 2, so I would go up 2 on the fame track there because I had one of these. If later on I was to buy this one, let's say, ooh, that's nice. Well, to connect it on my player board, I would make sure that I would have to match it up first. So I couldn't play it there, I couldn't play it there because that dead ends to something, but I can play it here. Now once I place it, then we can count my fame trackers, which again would be 2 and 2, because again, if you look at those buildings right up there, I am on the 2 space of each one of those, the yellow and the brown. So then I go up 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there are little spots on the fame tracker and the money tracker that if you pass them, you trigger certain events. So for instance, on the fame tracker, I just passed, if you look down there, a little icon there. Now the instructions will tell you what each one of these icons mean, but if you play it more than once, you will know. What that means is I get to go up on one of these 4 building tiles. So let's say I went up on yellow. So the next time I get a yellow, I'm going to get 3 fame instead of 2. Now there are other things that they let you do on the fame. If you pass here, you get 2 karma. Here you go 1 up on the river. On the money track, if you go up here, you get one of these tokens, which gives you 2 die of your choice. And you have other things where if I pass by here, I can actually unlock another man and have bonus actions on my next turn. So I can get 4 actions. Or maybe on the money tracker, grab that. That's an extra man. Or if my boat gets past this bridge, then I can unlock another man and I can have even more actions. So as you unlock more workers by going up in any one of these 3 tracks, of course it grants you more actions. Now there's another thing about the tiles that I wanted to show you. If you look here, some of these tiles don't have buildings on them or castles. They have these little markets tiles on them. And let me get one of each here to kind of show you what they are. These are the 3 little market tiles that they come in the game. The little emblems will show you what they are. Now to be honest, I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. Grain, tea, and I don't know, firecrackers, who knows. But once you place these on the board, these are your little market stalls that you can activate in the game. If you look on the board there, right below the quarry, there are some little spaces that you can play. So if I was to put a worker here, I could activate one of each of those icons. And on my board, let's say I had all of these. And what I get to do is cash these in, one of each emblem. So I get 3 coins there, 2 coins there, and 2 coins there. I would go up 7 coins on the coin tracker. So I would move up my guy 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. Now, there could be times where if someone takes that space and I could play on one of these other little spaces right above it. And as you see, they have the particular icon of one of those 3 items and then a die with a question mark. Die with a question mark is I can discard any dice from my little Buddha girl, throw it back into the dice pool, and then I could activate all of them. Let's say they were the T little frames there. So using that example, since I activated all of the icons that look like this, I look on my little pre-made up board and I say, oh, I got 1 there, and 1 there. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's how you can score, and this is how you can get more money in the game. So now that I've spoken about the quarry and about how to get cash with your merchants in the game, let me tell you about moving up the river. Whenever you move up the river, you can do various things. You can place here on the board. The first place is free. Anytime extra that costs 1 coin, 2 coin, or 2 coin as you keep playing. And if you were to push a 1, 2, or 3 die, you could get moved that many spaces. Now, just in case, just to let you know something, if I played right there and I put a 3 die out there, I just discarded that from my personal dice pool, then it says 1 through 3. I don't have to move 3 spaces. I can move 1 space or 2 space, that I wanted to. The reason they do this is, 1, to make lower die rolls a little bit more important in the game, but also not to just, hem you in on having to move 3 spaces. So for instance, if I wanted to, I could move my green boat here and collect 2 die of any color, or I could play that 3 and move 2 spaces instead and get 2 karma and move up karma, and I'll tell you what karma is in a minute. And then of course I can move 3 spaces and just get 4 coin. Now as the game goes on, you'll be moving up one of these. They each have emblems on there. Of course the instruction book will tell you what each one means. After playing the game once, you will know though. The game also comes with these little extra river tokens that you can just place on the board, covering up other ones that you don't want if you want to switch up the game and make it a little bit different. Okay, but this is just optional in the game if you want to do that. One thing about the river I will say, if one player is trying to move onto an occupied spot, they can't. They have to bounce over to the next unoccupied space. And of course, as I said, the further up the river you go, the better the rewards are, and of course you can unlock another man for an additional action. Now the rest of the actions on the board are very self-explanatory. If I were to place a man here, I would get 2 coins and I could re-roll any of the die that are in my personal possession, like on her little bracket there. If I place a man here, here, I would get that colored die. I would just grab it from the supply here. Like let's say I grabbed here and went to orange. I'd grab an orange die, I'd roll it, and then I'd add it to my my dice pool. If I was to go over here, I would pay that type of colored die to get 2 of a different separate color. So for instance, that orange die I just got, let's say on my next turn I take my next man, I go over there, I pay the orange die I just got, and now I pick up 2 purple die. So then I roll the purple die, and then I'm rolling all 6s today. This is great. And then I'll move them over to my dice pool, as you see right there. So the last one I want to talk about is these 6 characters here. There is a die pip on them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so you'd have to give up that particular die to utilize one of those 6 actions. The first one would be if you placed a man there and you paid a one number die, doesn't matter any color, then you will get to be first player going forward. You'll also get to move up 2 more fame. If I went over here and played a 2 die, I could get 2 die of any color and get one of these little tokens. Now these little tokens are just extra things that can help you out in the game. For instance, this one gives me an additional die of whatever color I want. And of course, remember, anytime you grab die, you must roll immediately and then add them to your little personal dice pool. If I paid a 3 here, I would get a die of my color and I get to go up to karma. Now what is karma? You keep hearing me talk about karma. Karma lets you flip any one of your die in your personal possession over to the opposite side. So if I wanted a 6 instead, I could flip this 1 and turn it to a 6, or vice versa. Maybe I'm trying to get first player from someone and all I have is 6s. Well, I can use one of my karma. I'd move down the karma track. This is kind of like a free action as long as you have karma, and then I could flip this over and have a 1. Yes, that's what I want, because I want to, next time I want to use one of my men and I want to place a 1 there and I want to steal first player. Whoops, using my 1 there that I had. But that's what karma does there. So if you were to put a number 4 die there, you can move up again on any one of these tracks and you'd also get 3 coin. If you put a 5 here, you get to buy another tile from the quarry and add it to your board, but you get to cover whatever's there. Now the coolest thing is there's a little rule here. It has to be worth more than the tile that was placed under it. So for instance, I couldn't play this number 4 over a number 5 orange. That wouldn't work. But if I had this number 9, I could place it over that number 5, if I wanted to. Or let's say I place it over the number 7 there. Now the cool thing about this is, since it's covering up the number 7 tile, you're not going to pay 9, you're just paying 2. You're paying the cost to upgrade basically this land. So instead of you're getting 9 pips worth of die on my orange die, all I need to do is pay 2. Now, for instance, let's say I did have this 4 and I paid it. Do I get change? Do I get to knock this down to 2? No, it just gets discarded and you don't get any change. But then you can upgrade it and basically change the direction. Let's pretend that's not there. You could change the direction of your roads if you needed to. So that's 5. And then 6, you pay a 6 and you can just whoosh, shoot along the river super fast, going 6 spaces. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to keep playing this game, getting fame, getting tiles, getting money, getting richer and richer, unlocking players, and the game's going to end once a player gets their fame tracker and their money tracker to cross or pass or meet. So if they were to meet right here, or to cross each other. You know, one track went further than the other. That's when the game would complete its round. So for instance, if the first player was able to do this, each other player would get one last turn to see if they could beat them. And if no one does, then that player wins. However, let's say yellow had one last turn and they were right here, and on their last turn, they got to move their fame marker up big time there. Well, then you'd have to look at the distance between the money tracker and the fame tracker, which in this case, as you can see, is simply yellow. So yellow would actually win the game. Now, that's the base game there. There is a mini add-on game, expansion they have called the Mango Village. What you do is you place this tile here, which is this is for a 2-player game. That's for a 3 or 4-player game. You place it right here over this village here, and if you placed one of your players there, you would get to choose from these special tiles, which are mango trees, and they're all 4-ways too, which are really good because there's not a lot of 4-ways in the game. Now, you see it has 2 question marks here. It means they have to have 2 die of equal value. So you have to give out doubles to grab a mango tree. And if you do, you get the reward in the bottom right-hand corner there, whatever the reward is. There is also a special brown token here for the advanced game if you're playing, that if you have it, you get 3 coin for every mango tree that you have in your village. And that's just the mini expansion for the mango tree. And that's the game, Raja of the Ganges. Final thoughts, what do I think about the game? Wow. I gotta give a special shout out to my friend Josh, who when I went to BGG SpringCon this year, he said, dude, you've got to play this game. Now, he told me that a lot of games, I think I played maybe half of them, but this was one that he was dead on right about. I love this game. I love worker placement games, and I gotta be honest, when I first saw the board, I was like, oh, too busy, eyesore. But then you really get a hang of it, and you really start learning different strategies. That's another thing. There are several paths to victory here, and I tried a new one just the last time we played this at our game night, and won by it. Now, do I think that's the strategy I'll go with every time? No, because there's maybe 2 other strategies I want to go with and see if those work too. But I love that. I love that there's just a million ways to win. There's a million choices. The different color die, the pips on the die matter. Everything matters. Now, I haven't played with that little mini expansion yet because every time I show off the game to people, you know, I don't want to add something else in there. But after the last time playing, I thought, you know what? They can get used to the Mango Village too. So I'll probably start putting it in as well. And do you need the mini expansion? No, you do not. Should you get this game? Yes, I think you should. Like I said, it depends. The cover looks nice, but at the same time, these type of covers made me go, maybe not. But looks can be deceiving. Even though I see the beauty in it now, I saw busyness in it before. But oh, what a wonderful game. Love the game. Raja of the Ganges, well worth your time. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, game on.